If you've ever shivered through a cold night, you know the value of a good blanket. But for most of human history, blankets as we know them didn't exist. Yet our ancestors survived, often in conditions far harsher than anything we face today. Tonight, we're going to explore exactly how humans slept through cold before blankets, and how these time-tested techniques can inform survival strategies and historical understanding alike. Before we dive in, don't forget to hit subscribe, like the video, and leave a comment sharing which strategy you find most fascinating. Now, let's get into it. Humans relied on layering natural materials to insulate themselves. Animal hides, furs and grasses were the foundation of early bedding. Hides were stretched and dried to create insulating layers. The fur side faced inward, trapping body heat, while the rougher side faced outward, shielding against moisture and wind. Multiple hides were often stacked to create thicker insulation. If you're trying this today in a survival scenario, even a single thick hide under you or over you dramatically reduces heat loss. Grass and reeds were stuffed between layers, serving as both cushion and additional insulation. The key was trapping air and body warmth. It wasn't just about softness. Sleeping close to heat sources was another critical strategy. Ancient humans didn't have stoves or central heating, but they knew the power of a contained fire. Sleeping near a hearth or a controlled fire pit allowed radiant heat to warm the immediate area. In colder climates, they would use pits dug into the ground to concentrate warmth, lining them with stones that retained heat through the night. Today, even without modern tools, building a shallow, insulated pit and using rocks or coals from a fire to radiate heat can be a lifesaver in the wild. Body positioning and clustering were essential. Early humans often slept in groups, using each other's body heat. This wasn't just social, it was survival. Huddling together in a cave, lean-to, or simple shelter significantly reduced heat loss. Even modern preppers can adopt this. Sharing tents or using communal sleeping arrangements with shared insulation can drastically improve warmth in sub-zero conditions. Shelter design played a huge role, you know. Before modern structures, humans used natural formations or simple constructions to shield themselves from wind and precipitation. Rock overhangs, caves, and earth-built structures provided thermal mass, absorbing daytime heat and radiating it at night. Temporary shelters made from branches, bark, and hides minimized heat escape. In practical terms, learning to construct a low-profile, wind-protected shelter using available materials is directly applicable for anyone prepping for survival in cold environments. Clothing as insulation cannot be overstated. Early humans layered clothing to trap heat, much like modern thermal wear works today. Furs, skins and wool were arranged so that each layer trapped warm air and protected against moisture. Covering extremities, hands, feet, head was vital. Even today, the principle is simple. Cover the core and extremities with multiple layers of insulating material, and you'll sleep warmer than relying solely on blankets. Sleeping surfaces themselves were engineered for warmth. Ancient bedding wasn't just hides on dirt, mind you. People built elevated platforms of wood or stone to keep bodies off frozen or damp ground. Layered mats of straw, leaves and grasses prevented conductive heat loss. Modern preppers can replicate this with any insulating material. tarps, foam pads, or even thick layers of leaves under a sleeping bag, mimicking these ancient strategies effectively. Waterproofing and windproofing were also crucial, you know. Humans learned to position themselves away from drafts and to shield themselves using natural barriers. Animal skins and bark could block wind and repel moisture, keeping the sleeping area dry. Moisture dramatically accelerates heat loss, so even a basic survival shelter today benefits from a windbreak or raised dry bedding, just as ancient humans knew intuitively. Rituals and timing were part of the strategy. Humans structured their sleep around available warmth and daylight. Fire was maintained through the night, and communal sleeping ensured no one was left exposed. Strategic napping and staggered sleeping shifts in groups ensured warmth was preserved. Even in modern survival or historical reenactment, staggering resource use and heat management is a technique that works. Finally, diet and metabolism were tools for warmth. High-calorie meals and fatty foods before sleep fueled the body to generate heat throughout the night. Early humans understood that physical preparation was as important as shelter or bedding. In practical application, anyone facing cold nights should prioritize energy-rich food and hydration to support thermoregulation. These ancient strategies are not just history. They are practical lessons for survivalists, historians, and anyone fascinated by human ingenuity. Using hides, layering materials, clustering bodies, insulating sleeping surfaces, and managing heat sources are techniques that can be adapted with modern substitutes to survive extreme cold without traditional blankets. If this dive into ancient sleep strategies intrigued you, make sure to subscribe for more in-depth survival and historical content. Like this video if you found these techniques useful, and leave a comment sharing which strategy you'd implement first in a survival scenario. Share this with fellow history buffs and preppers to keep these time-tested methods alive.